Welcome back to another episode, guys. I'm excited that you're here, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you like, share a review of the podcast. I'm your host, DrVic, and this episode, before I get into it all, as always, check out the stuff we have going on. We still have our waitlist going for Unlock the Greatness Within You. It is a 3-part program that is there's a DIY part to it, and there's a group coaching part to it. And we'll be releasing this very soon. We're finalizing some details here before we get it up and running. And it's going to be one of those programs that helps you truly understand how to let go, how to find fulfillment, how to tap into your genius, how to really unlock that greatness within you in a unique way to really elevate your life to the highest conscious level possible. And truly to find that fulfillment, to slow things down. Why is life going so fast? Why I can't stay calm? Why is it I'm not manifesting the way I would love to? And all these things and so much more. And how to shift out of the matrix and really get into your essence and your truth and so much more. So find out more. It's in the show notes. Again, those who sign up for the waitlist, there will be a steep discount that only those that are part of the waitlist will get. That's my incentivizing you to take action now. And we will be giving you updates. We're going to start sharing them about every month. We're hoping to get this up and running by January. And it'll be a short window to register, and then we'll launch the program. And like I said, those for the DIY will have one way to go. And those who want to take part of the group coaching session, there'll be another avenue with that too. So take a look at that. Check that out. If you love what we share, check out our Facebook group page called Return to Source. It is, again, same stuff. It's there we're going to be sharing a live podcast that we'll be doing. We're going to be getting more into those soon, where we'll be doing these kind of recordings, but they'll be live in the group. So you can join in, ask questions about what's being shared, and really get to dive in. And so I'm looking forward to really enriching this program and this group to do that and so much more. Plus, we share a lot of content when it comes to everything to elevate your life. So please check that out. As always, I want to thank you guys. This topic is something that, it's the time of the year. If you're in America and you celebrate Thanksgiving, a lot of times people will focus on gratitude and what are the things that you're appreciative for. And I remember we used to host, when my wife and I used to live in Chicago, we would host Thanksgiving. And then we wanted to get to a point where, hey, everyone, share just one thing you're thankful for. Just share something you're thankful for the year. And that's a great practice, and it's good. And I'm not knocking that at all. But the problem a lot of times is people only focus on gratitude and appreciation during this time of the year. And that's the rest of the year they don't. It's kind of like Christmas, right? Hey, it's Christmas. You just act this way. It's supposed to be that way. It's Christmas. What are you doing? I used to be told this all the time. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, but what about the rest of the year? Like, why can't people just be like that all year long? Why do we only choose to be that way during a season of a holiday season, if you like the word Christmas, during that time? And that was always a frustration for me. And I could never understand that. And as I got older and got more into this work that I've been doing for the last almost 15 years, it's one of those things where I was like, why are we only being grateful during one period of the year? Why not be grateful for every day of our life? Why not be grateful for everything that shows up in our life? And these are questions I just had because I wasn't doing this. And so I was like, why am I stuck and sold into this system that, it's this time of the year, it's when you want to be grateful and just focus on what you appreciate the most. And we did this in our office too. I mean, my office I used to have in Chicago, my team would my wife would pretty much design it and put out leaves. And then the team's job was to get everyone to sign what they're grateful for. What's one thing they're grateful for chiropractic? Because we wanted them to show, what we were trying to show them is what is one of the things that chiropractic has helped you with. And a lot of times we were shocked. Like we were like half of them, at least half. We get we get about 30 to 40 of those that people would fill out. And that's a good number. Not all our patients did, but we got a good number. And what was interesting is out of those 40, over half had nothing to do with pain. And I used to love that. I used to love seeing how it was more about like change of life. I'm happier. I have more energy. I'm doing the things I love now. I feel 20 years younger. Things that, again, like I don't have to take all these supplements, it's just all this different stuff because here we are stimulating a system in the body to help you regulate and help you to stimulate the healing process and let your body do what it's naturally designed to do and make sure it's on firing on all cylinders, communicating as best as it can to adapt as best as possible. And then when you do that, you're thriving. This podcast is about chiropractic, but it's just sharing that of what we used to do. And now it comes to a point where my question to you is, if you practice gratitude only during this time of the year, or don't practice it at all, how can we experience more where we're not grateful for what we're getting? And this was something that I had to really visualize and see. And so I'm going to share this with you. Imagine you're a parent and you have a kid who's very not grateful, never says thank you, but you keep beautiful things that it enjoys, but yet it never says thank you, doesn't appreciate anything. Do you still want to give to that kid? Do you still want to bring things to him? No, I know I'm a parent. I wouldn't. I'd be like, you know what? I gotta reevaluate this. This isn't working out here well. I don't like the way this is going. And so you'll shift things and change. I want you to think of that in the essence of your life. When we can shift and be more grateful for everything, because here's a fact. There is no such thing as good and bad experiences in life. There isn't. There are no such thing as any of those. They're just different experiences. There's no good, there's no bad. You make that meaning. You're the one that puts an electronic or a charge, an energetic charge to that allows it then to be, is this a positive or is this a negative experience? Based upon your personal experiences, which is all programmed and conditioned from the matrix to your upbringing to all these different things, and to tell you what is good and what is bad. And that's a whole nother conversation. But instead, it's really just different experiences. And when we can embrace these different experiences, then all of a sudden it shifts the energetic charge. You're in a state of appreciation, regardless if you want to see it good or bad. Because any bad experience, let's just go down this path. So any bad experience still has lessons for you, still has things for you to gain and grow and expand in. And any good experiences, well, you know the rest of that one because everyone knows the good experiences. And so you don't get through these ups and downs, this polarity of life. Because the more, when I studied spirituality early on, I realized that everything is oneness. Everything's one-sided. We look at everything as two sides of a coin, and it's not. It's only one side. It's only one experience. As above, as below. And so whatever is above and how life is above there in our non-physical form, so is it below. But I've realized that I was like, wait, but if that's true, and only there is joy and bliss, then why the heck are we experiencing all these other things, right? And I had to go through, it took me a while. It's only been like in the last year that year to 2 years, I really started to grasp this. And I started to see that there is only one side. It's my psyche that messes with things and creates the duality. Yes, there's everything in duality in this life. There's a hot, you have to have cold in order to understand hot, but hot really is, cold is just the absence of heat. Dark is just the absence of light. So, it's just the absence of these things that create that other experience. But if I add more light, then the darkness goes away. If I add more heat, then the cold goes away, right? And so I started to understand like, well, that's one-sided, in a sense. And somebody said, well, there's anti-light. And I'm like, okay, we can go down that rabbit hole there. But for this conversation, I'm going to keep it simple. And so, but I started to look and go, well, what are the spiritual sages and mystics and the gurus that have been, many of them that have come to this earth that share wonderful wisdom outside of just Jesus and Krishna and Buddha? They talk about there's a certain level of bliss in consciousness. The Vedics 4,000 years ago in their meditations will talk about the energy and the chi, the Shakti, as they call it, and what the energy, how it would flow. When you get to these higher centers, and if you're watching this video, I'm showing areas of my chest, which my heart chakra area, to my throat chakra, to my third eye, to my crown. And then there's layers up. There's even higher levels of that. And when you can have the energy expressed properly through those layers, you shift into a whole different consciousness. And now things won't Somebody said, well, I went through, let's say I had this painful experience. Well, it's fine. Someone who's a guru or a mystic at these higher levels, it's not like they don't say, there's no human emotions. It's not like they're saying, oh, this is great that I'm going through this painful experience. They embrace it. There's no fighting to it. They take it in as a human experience and they go through what they're going to go through. Jesus, one of the 3 top avatars that ever come to this planet that we know of, on the cross, asked God, why have you forsaken me? There was doubt, even in a master like himself during that time. But it didn't stay long. Recentered, regrouped, and he reconnected. And what did he say later? God, please forgive them, for they know not what they do. Right? So when you look at these kind of things, it's understanding that, there's these arrays of emotions. We go through them. There's not that it's not supposed to. The point of what I'm trying to share out of all this is to understand that there's different experiences that we're going to go through. They're going to feel different. The key thing is appreciating them for them when they show up. Because the more you can appreciate that, you're seeing things from a different level. That's what higher level beings do. Higher conscious levels. You see things from a different level. And you can see how it plays into things. It's not like, oh, look what's happening to me, or I can't believe this is happening. Look how bad this is. Instead, it's just like, look at this different experience. What is it here to teach me? What am I supposed to learn? Because I don't like the way this feels. I don't like it. But what am I going to learn out of this? And I share this in my book, A Walk in the Dark, a lot of this stuff, because there's a lot of beauty behind the darkness. There's a lot of beauty behind going through pain and different, those lower vibrational feelings. There's wisdom behind it. And it's just like I was sharing with someone before about like your triggers, right? You get these triggers. Your body and your mind is going to pay attention to triggers because it's trying to help you heal. But those triggers never bring on a positive experience. I mean, they can, but it's more of those. You get mad, you get frustrated. Hey, I love Donald Trump. Boom. There's gonna be a certain amount of people that are gonna hate that one. Hey, I love Democratic Party. Hey, guess what? There's gonna be Joe Biden, Harris, whoever. That's gonna PO a lot of other people, right? Those are triggers. And I'm just using politics because that really has an emotional charge. You can get into religions too. That has a huge emotional charge. But it comes to these points of these are just the triggers to help you become aware. And so when we're grateful for these darker experiences, then all of a sudden we put light to them and the darkness can't be there. That's what and I'm trying to share that with you in the easiest way I can in a podcast in 15 minutes. Okay. So because when you can shine the light onto the dark cannot be there. Yes, you're going to go through the emotions. Yes, it's not going to feel great, but you're coming in it from a different place and you'll get something out of that. That's way more profound. I had someone just send me a message on Instagram talking about this. After a couple of years of reading my stuff and follow me, she goes, I finally get what you're saying. I finally experienced it. And I'm just like, I love that because now you're awakened and now life's going to be totally different for you. And so I'm trying to bring that to the table here. So I'm talking about the power of gratitude. I'm hoping I'm emphasizing on that. I have other podcasts that we've done on this before, but here's what I want to share with you and how to have a practice of gratitude, right? So every morning you appreciate just being alive. Every morning you get up and say, oh, thank you for another beautiful day. Don't know what's going to show up today. I'm just grateful to be here. That's it. Simple. I like things simple. I'm grateful. I woke up this morning. I was tired. And I'm like, grateful for another day. I'm tired as heck. I'm like, I'm going to be honest. I am tired. I don't feel like getting up. I'm just lethargic today. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to have my nice cup of coffee. I'm going to go do my breath work in my sauna. I'm going to do my meditation right after. And I said, it's going to be a beautiful day. I don't know what's going to lead up to today. I don't know what's going to show up. And I really don't care. That's not my job. My job is just to keep me centered and calm and be appreciative for the day. And that's it. And then that you go on with your day and knowing that it's going to be a beautiful day, regardless what shows up. Because the moment you let the outside world dictate your inner world, you've lost all your power. Let me say that one more time. The moment you let the outside world dictate your inner world, you lost your power. So when I say, hey, it's going to be a great day, it's going to be an amazing day. I don't know what's going to show up, but it's going to be amazing. And that's all. Now, that's what you do every single morning. It takes you, 1 minute to do that? And you got to feel it too. So it's not just saying it and trying to say, I know it's not going to be a great day. Oh, I got to go to the work. I got to deal with this boss. I got this going on here. Stop. You're in the negative. You have to feel it too. All right. Then the second half is in the evening. What your job is you pick out 3 things that you find that you are grateful for. Okay? 3 things. I don't care how horrible a day you had, based on your judgment, based on your personal mind, which is known as ego. I don't care about that. You got to find 3 things. And if it's just as I woke up this morning, I got through the day, and I'm excited to go to sleep. That's fine. That's 3 things. Just be honest about it. And again, there's an energy to being grateful, right? Every night. And some people, you need to write it down, right? For me, I do it mentally. It's probably better to do it written. Some people I have clients sometimes I make them do gratitude journals where they'll just write out 3 things every night, what they're grateful for. If you want to go to 5, go to 5. I'm like, it shouldn't be like a whole, I don't want you to think too much, right? So, and especially at night, I want that mind to shut off. So I'm like, but just what feels good? What made you feel good today? And sometimes even like I had a patient had to leave. She was like, I can't continue, XYZ. And I was like, I'm grateful that happened. It wasn't working out. I had that happen with a client one time. And it's just like, hey, I'm grateful that it worked out. And some people are like, well, you're grateful for that. And it's like, it is what it is. I don't know why. There's all these other things I don't know. I'm just grateful, for the time I had to be a person of possible influence and go from there. And so it's being grateful for the things that you have. Now, I'm going to share a little extra here. If you're a woman, women are more highly evolved, neurologically speaking. Their brains are wired differently than men. And so for women, you have to get out. So what you want to do is share the 3 things that you couldn't stand today. Now you're saying, wait a minute, you're making yourself focus on negative. I just said was focus on 3 things that irritated you. Focus on 3 things that you didn't enjoy. What was a different experience, right? Hence the word different. And so you share that first, and then you get into your three gratitudes. Because what it does is lets the steam out, and then you can get into a place of gratitude. And so again, the rule is 3 things. So what I'm sharing with you, not to do every single year, but to do every single day. Every morning, wake up. What are you grateful for? And it doesn't have to be, DrVic said I have to say I'm alive and this and that. No. Make it yours. Find for me, it's always just an exciting, I think of myself, ever since I've had my daughter, I see glimpses of me that I never remembered. I've seen pictures of it. I heard stories of myself. You wake up and my mom would be telling me, like, I wake up and I'd be shaking my crib wanting to get out. I was just revving with energy, ready to go for the day. Always had smiles, I used to be called Smiley because I smiled all the time. And that was like when I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I remember I was on a baseball team. I was 7, 8 years old. And the coach was like, I'm going to call you Smiley. You're always smiling. And I'm like, didn't know what to say to that. And so it's one of those things where, but seeing that with my daughter, I mean, she wakes up. Like, she won't sleep for half the night. Let's say she had a rough night. She'll get up that morning and she's ready to go. Like, she wants to go play. She wants to get up. She wants to see daddy, all this other stuff. And I'm like, this girl always has endless energy. And it reminds me a lot of me. So what I've been doing lately is a good visualization practice is I'll wake up in the morning with that mindset. Even like today, like I'm energized now. But like when I woke up this morning, I was tired. I was just like, I felt like there was a ton of bricks on me. Just when you wake up in that, like you're in that deep sleep and you wake up in that period, you kind of groggy. But I just started visualizing myself as a kid, seeing myself. My daughter is a great reflection to help me see back in my little child within me, the inner child. And I saw myself in that realm, and all of a sudden I'm like, let's go. I'm excited. I'm tired as heck, but I'm excited. Let's go. The energy is going to come. And it has. I'm here. I'm doing a podcast. If I was tired, I wouldn't be doing it. And so you got to make it you. That's all I'm trying to say. I am not. So like when I come to my coaching world, I always tell clients, I'm not going to put you through a system because that's not growth. You're going to do something. Yeah, you're going to make more money, but yet you never solved any issue. So those issues are going to be totally different and bigger and more of a headache down the road. And I tell this to all my clients. When you work with me, we're going to work on the real stuff. We break those patterns. We break that stuff and break it down and reprogram and all these other fancy words. And all of a sudden, you will expand, evolve, and grow to the level of whatever business you want to get to. There's no maybe this is going to work. No, it works. I have had a lot of clients this year do some amazing things. Amazing things. And so it's the growth and expansion through that process. So to wrap everything up, be grateful in the morning, that you're alive, or make it you, or whatever words you want to use, but just be grateful that you have a whole fresh day ahead of you. And it's okay if you're grateful to look forward to something too. At the end, 3 things that you're grateful for that day. If you're a woman, share 3 things you didn't enjoy, and then get into gratitude. And let me know how that goes. But I have one thing I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for you tuning in and listening to this podcast. Can't believe 6 years already doing this. And it's been a joy. It's been an honor to continue. And we're not stopping. Some people ask, 6 years, when are you going to stop? I'm like, I don't know. Like, but you're not, in the podcasting where they always say, how much money are you making off your podcast? And I'm like, this is a labor of love. It's not about how much money I make. It's about sharing something to create a movement to shift people. And it's funny because I don't get a lot of feedback on what the podcast means to a lot of people. But every once in a while we do. And it's been fascinating. I've had, someone to share with me a couple of years ago about how it changed their life of addiction to see things in a whole different realm. And he said it literally saved his life, and he listened to every episode he never missed. And it totally changed his life. If you're still listening, that meant a world to me. There's been people who've reached out and said, hey, this episode, oh my goodness, loved it. Or I really need to hear that. Or man, I never thought of it this way. And that's just those little things is all I care about. Because if I can just get a little something to shift in the mind, then this whole episode was worth it. So I'm hoping that did that for you today. But I'm grateful for you guys for listening, for subscribing, sharing reviews. If you haven't done any of those, please do. But I'm grateful for you to tune in and listen. This has been a joy to continue. And we got some cool things in store for next year from the podcast side. We're going to be handpicking some guests where we used to have just guests come on that were, kind of like, okay, this is someone I love to have a conversation with. Let's see how this goes. From here, season 7, which will be starting in January, we'll be starting to invite speakers to come on. And it won't be all the time, but it'll be having interviews because some people have said, hey, I missed those interviews you've been doing. And I said, we're going to be doing them again. Right now, it's just with my schedule. I wanted to just do solo for a little bit and just share some things that I know that were very important that I wanted to get through. And I'll still do some solos as we start doing interviews also. But I want to just thank you, as always, for tuning in, for listening. Do me a favor, if you can, please share, but more importantly, subscribe and share a review. This is what helps elevate the podcast. It helps us to keep our reach out there and continue our expansion globally. As we're still ranked in the top 1%, I'm looking to maintain that, and I can't do that without you. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, until next time, keep rocking and rolling. Thank you.